First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now. Appreciate you joining us here as we continue throughout the day with our show. And I've got to say this, if you are a Blazer fan or an NBA fan, you are probably all over Twitter right now, falling for rumors, which I literally just did right before we went live here. I, for a second, thought I saw a trade for Siakam, but it's not true, at least as far as I know. But nonetheless, there's a lot to go through with that, and I thought we should bring on an expert to talk about this, and that was why we have Conor from Blazers Edge. Appreciate you being here. Of course, if you're a Blazers fan, everybody knows what Blazers Edge is, because that's where we go to either find out what's happening or debate what should happen or talk to people in the comments and tell them they're wrong, or, you know, all the above, all those things. But Conor, you know, today, this is the day we've been waiting for. I feel like it's one of the biggest days the Blazers have had in a long time as far as anticipation, having this third draft pick, having the possibility of Dame, you know, who knows. How are you feeling today?
Definitely a weird day for Blazers fans. For the last 10 drafts or so, it feels like there hasn't been too much anticipation for the Blazers. This is like the first time that I feel like we're in all the headlines of all the news with possibilities wide open of what they could do with the pick. You know, are they going to try to please Dame with the trades that they do? Will they keep the pick? So people are saying that it is the most important draft maybe in Blazers history.
Wow.
So there's a lot of like excitement and nervous energy around the fan base right now.
I mean, it definitely is whatever does happen, whether it's today or, you know, a week from now, but it's coming. The decision whether Damian's going to stay, you know, that's a huge franchise-changing historical thing. If he were to ask for a trade, also couldn't blame him if he decided that this isn't the place where he can win something. So, you know, I don't think anybody can be mad at Damian for whatever he chooses. But it's still, that's a huge difference between going forward and if we do trade this pick and get somebody, or if we keep it and say Dame goes. Big difference in franchise outlook, depending on what happens right there. So, you know, I feel like there's so many times that we talk about with the Blazers where we expect there's going to be, you know, oh yeah, the rumor is, you know, this person's coming, they're going to make the big trade. But then the big trade never happens. Like, it just doesn't seem like it happens. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, at least since I've been a Blazers fan, like I started following the team kind of in the mid-2000s with Brandon Roy. Like, as far as I can remember, I can't think of a time that they've made a huge, big impact trade for an already established star. Like with, you know, the big deals that Joe Cronin made a few seasons ago with trading CJ, that was more of like a tear down move. So they were kind of knowingly getting worse and going in a different direction. And then Neil Olshey, when he was here for so long, he was famous for making a lot of moves around the margins, like finding cheap contracts. Like even the bigger trades that he made were minor moves that kind of popped, like with Yusuf Nurkic and Rodney Hood. And then with the Brandon Roy teams, there were some big trades on draft night that got Brandon Roy and LaMarcus Aldridge, but those were all, you know, rookies who were unknown. I've never seen the team trade for a star like Pascal Siakam or Jalen Brown. And like, I would think you'd have to go back to the late 90s teams when they got Scottie Pippen. I don't even know that it's allowed that you can make big trades for stars. It seems really exciting, and I'm always very jealous of other teams when they seem to always be doing it, but we just do not.
Right. That is totally it. I think that's part of being a Blazers fan, is jealous of everybody else. You know, support the team, jealous. But with this today, I mean, what have you been hearing as far as any rumors that possibly have some legs? I know I see all the ones Miami's after Damian, but then I saw that maybe the Blazers are after Bam Adebayo. Anything have any legs that you've seen so far today?
Yeah, I mean, that's hard for me to say, like, how, you know, much legs something has exactly, but
right.
The names that I keep hearing coming up that seem more legitimate is like Zion Williamson. That's the big home run swing that the team is maybe looking at. If you're looking for like the highest ceiling guy you could get, he would be that. You know, he was so hyped coming in a few years back as a rookie. He's a dominant player on the inside. He's there's a lot of risks with his health and like his commitment maybe, but if the risks work out, that if you're looking to get Damian into the championship contention, that's the move that probably has the best bet at that. And then Pascal Siakam from the Raptors. I heard you just said you thought maybe you saw a trade with him.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
It was
he's
wrong.
the other all-star coming up that would make sense. He's a forward. He's defensive mind. Like, he can play very good defense, scores over 20 points a night. He kind of fits the mold of the guys that Chauncey Billups and Joe Cronin have been trying to bring in, versatile wing players. And then with Toronto, I think their team makes the most sense to make a trade with the Blazers for the number 3 pick, because Siakam's, I think, 29. They have a lot of younger guys on the roster, and it seems like they should be trying to start a rebuild. But I've been hearing that they're hard to negotiate with, with their front office.
Yeah, that's I've read some of that too. That they're asking for the world. I'm sure they're asking for like Shaden Sharp or something like that, which I don't think we should put Sharp in anything myself.
No.
But with the possibilities of the trades, there are some players that are probably going to go. Who do you think is most likely if we do package, say, for like a Zion Williamson or somebody like that? Who else would go with the number 3 pick?
Yeah, from the Blazers, definitely, I think it'd have to be Anthony Simons for multiple reasons. One, his contract is one of the bigger contracts on the team. So to make the money work, you'd have to include him. And then he's also just one of our best trade assets. He's a young, like, up-and-coming, very good guard. I think sometimes Blazers fans undervalue Anthony Simons a little bit, just because the fit isn't super great on the team. Like, we just had C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard for 10 plus years or so, and like having 2 small guards in the backcourt who aren't good at defense isn't great for roster construction. So, like, it makes sense for the team to move on from him to better balance the roster. And you have Shaden Sharp coming up. He needs to get minutes. He fits better at the 2 spot because he's more athletic and taller and better at defense than Anthony Simons. And then there's the whole thing about 2 timelines right now. Like, the Blazers have kind of been straddling both, whether it's trying to win now for Damian Lillard or build for the future. The team has been saying that they're trying to build a contender around Damian Lillard, and like they're anxious to make a big trade. But if they keep Anthony Simons like past this offseason, I don't know how you could be doing that and helping out Damian Lillard in that sense. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense to have Dame and Shaden Sharp and then maybe even Scoot Henderson. It'd be like the same problem they've had for the last 8 years.
Yeah, just too much of a backlog of these guards and nobody up front. Talking about Scoot Henderson, talking about the draft, if they were to make the pick, do you have an opinion on who would be the better fit for them? I guess going long term, let's say Dame's leaving, of who you would grab.
Dang. Well,
Sorry,
Dame's leaving. That changes everything.
I know.
I think.
I hate even saying that, but
I know it feels weird.
Yeah.
If Dame leaves, I like Scoot Henderson. Just his energy seems like he's got like star potential. He just seems like a super confident. There's just like a vibe about him that is really like just seems like he's
like a star,
ready to be a star. And he's like crazy athletic. The people are saying that he has the higher ceiling than Brandon Miller. So like I follow the logic of pick the best player available, which would be Scoot Henderson.
Yeah.
But definitely fit wise, the Blazers have been looking for like a tall forward who can score for like a decade now.
Forever.
And Brandon Miller is that. So that would be nice too.
Yeah, and I think if we were able to swing and get a trade like that, I feel like that's got to be the way to do it. How do you feel about the Jalen Brown rumors?
I wouldn't mind Jalen Brown.
Yeah,
he's like he could play the 3. He's big enough to be a small forward. Like he has he was a bit better at defense a few years ago. Like that's dropped off a little bit, but he's still like I would say a good defensive player. So if that was the move that the Blazers made, I would respect it. I don't know how much Boston is looking to do that, especially after they just traded for Kristaps Porzingis the other day. That makes me think maybe they're ready to run it back with Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown now that they have Porzingis. So that seems to be dying down over the last few weeks.
Yeah. I did see, and this looks like it's a confirmed trade, is that Chris Paul is now heading to Golden State for Jordan Poole. So how do you think that, not that I want to talk about Golden State too much, but that's certainly a big name going there. I guess he'll come off the bench for Golden State, I would imagine.
Yes. Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, no, I was just going to ask your opinions on that.
Yeah, I think Chris Paul would be like a nice luxury to have off your bench as a sixth man.
Right.
Like he's getting a little bit older, has injury concerns, trouble staying on the court. So this might be a nice transition for him to start going into that six-man role. I like it for the Warriors.
Yeah, that's another thing where I'm like, that's just a nice bonus to have coming off. You don't have to play him very much so he doesn't get injured, and then you have him there. And yet Blazers don't make any of these trades. So there comes the jealousy again. We're right back into it. Well, for tonight, let me just ask straight up, do you think there will be a trade? And obviously we have no way of knowing this, but do you think they're going to?
I think if I had to bet that they will make a trade, but it won't be the third pick, I would think like the more like reasonable deal that they are going to make would be like trading Anthony Simons and the 23rd pick to bring in veteran help. It is hard to pull off those huge superstar trades. So this definitely seems more likely to happen. And then you can again kind of try to play it both ways, where you're keeping the pick and getting a high impact rookie, and then still bringing in some veteran talent to show Damian Lillard that you are trying to build a team that's ready to compete sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting one way or another, or depressing, or however you want to play it, depending on what happens here this evening. For everybody out there too who's watching and maybe doesn't follow Blazers Edge, if perhaps they were somehow unaware, can you tell everybody about Blazers Edge?
Oh yeah, Blazers Edge. I joined it 2 years ago. It is like a Blazers fan site on SB Nation that we put up content about the Blazers every day, trade rumors, original pieces. Dave Deckard is the managing editor. He does a great mailbag series. He's like one of the, I think, smartest dudes out there about the Blazers. So like if you ever want to figure out what's going on about the Blazers, you can take a quick look on that site to see all the news that's out there. And then my favorite part about it is the comment section. There is a lot of debate and arguing, and just everybody, like the fan base about the Blazers, I can tell is just so involved by Blazers Edge. There's comment sections with like hundreds to sometimes over 1,000 comments of fans debating like in-depth analysis about the Blazers.
Yeah, I don't know if other teams have. I mean, I'm sure some do have that kind of a fan base, but definitely there's a lot of opinions when it comes to what the Blazers.
They write like their own articles underneath our articles with very in-depth statistical research. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive. Well, Conor, thank you, for taking some time to talk to us, talk to Blazers with me. Anything else that you have? Any final words that you have or predictions that you have for today?
I just hope that everybody's not disappointed, because I don't want to deal with the news cycle if nothing happens. I just hope something.
I know, right?
It could even be like medium. I just hope something happens.
Just something. Do something. Anything. Yeah. I think we're all in agreement on that. All right. Well, Conor, thank you very much for being here with us. Hopefully we can talk again in the future too, or maybe whatever does happen here in the next couple of weeks or something. So, yeah. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
All right. So, as we said, who knows what's going to happen later on today, but hopefully something. That's something everybody is in agreement with, I believe. All right, so this is Fox 12 Now, and again, I'm Greg Nibbler. If this is your first time watching, thanks for joining. If you've watched every time, cool, that's really awesome. Then you've heard me say this a lot, that you can watch us on YouTube Live, you can watch us on our apps, so make sure that whichever one you're on right now, grab the other one, just that way you're safe. You have all your covers, all your bases covered. Coming up here at 2 p.m. Pacific, I'm gonna be joined by Eric G. from Around the House Northwest. He's gonna be here in person, talking about some tips and tricks for keeping your house cool, for keeping your windows safe for children, all kinds of stuff he's going to be covering. And so that's going to be happening here, again, 2 p.m. Pacific. So come right back here, and I will talk to you then. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.